For our second project, we're on the lookout for something a bit more playful, and Derek has a suggestion.
It's basically a Sea Queen launch from the 1950s. It's an abandoned project. There's a lot of work to be done to it. It's got to be motorised for a start off. When that model was first produced, there had been no remote control. But it's the sort of thing that the Bangers team are more than capable of resurrecting.
Derek seems unusually confident in our abilities, so we'll give it a go.
Lot number 67, the wooden launch boat. There we are. We've got 20, 30, 40, 50-pound bid at £50.
I think we'll have this.
£50, then are we done? At £50. 55 says Andy, 60 says David. £60 here, at £60 and 65. 65 says Andy, at 65.
Yeah, we're going to get this.
What are we all done at 65?
Cruise.
At £65. At £65. Andy, £65.
We've bought a ship. You have? Yeah.
Why? I can't. Oh, dear. I shouldn't be surprised, should I? Because Andy and my father are just two completely unpredictable people, aren't they? But I don't know what plans he's got for that.
Initially, none. But after a bit of research, an obvious choice of restorer rose to the surface. For Carl Barlow, model making has been a lifelong obsession.
When I used to get pocket money at junior school, I used to be straight off to Woolworths and get an Airfix kit and have it built the same day. And then it just carried on from there, I think.
So I guess you're a kid who never grew up?
Yeah, I could say that, yeah.
Carl's lost count of how many models he's completed, but his most recent one is this North Sea ferry. He spent 500 days on it. We're hoping ours won't be so time-consuming.
It's a kit. Originally it was designed for a petrol engine or a diesel engine or a big heavy-duty electric motor, but electric motor is a lot more efficient now. It should be able to do at least 20-25 mile an hour when we're finished with this. We'll stick to basic radio control, forward and reversed, and left and right. I think we can make a small profit on it. The type of people who are going to buy it are model boat enthusiasts who don't have the skills to build their own models. So, yes, I think it'll do well.
Our Sea Queen boat restoration is keeping Carl happy.
Being on my own, it's like being in a different little world. It's quiet, it's, you can concentrate. Yeah, it's therapeutic.
He's been prepping for paint and varnish.
So what I've got here is oil-based, waterproof wood filler. The nails that it's been held together with are proud. I'm just going to put a lump on each nail head. I'm just going to fill the join up. Doesn't matter if it moves, goes anywhere, because it's going to be rubbed down. If it's not prepped properly, then it's going to show up when you paint it.
There'll be a bit of drying time.
Around the edges.
So Carl turns his attention to the stern.
Well, I've noticed on this hull that it's got its original propeller tubing, and the shaft is rusty, plus it's an imperial tube.
The shiny metric replacement is the right size to be connected to new motor components. A bit of epoxy resin, and it should be stuck in there for another 60 years.
The last bit of today is we're going to do some sanding and sealing. I'm using a P60, which is quite a rough grade sandpaper, just to get the worst of the filler off.
But the more that Carl does this, the more he realises there's a small problem.
With it being ply, it's quite a thick grain on it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a very fine layer of filler all over the boat. Rub it down.
Or maybe he just wants to spend more time in his shed. Carl's tireless preparation continues, but apparently we're still on course.
This side has been filled with car body filler all over.
I understand Postman Pat's been.
Postman Pat has been, yes, and he sent me a big box of goodies. Torpedo, 850, motor. This is a brushed motor. If it was a brushless motor, it's something to do with digital. The wiring for the motor, and also the universal joint coupling. So this couples the motor to the propeller shaft. Well, this is a 12-volt battery, capable of pushing this boat along at quite high speed.
Fitting the electrics and the various accessories should be fairly straightforward.
Anchor, lights, flagstaffs.
But the next stage has the potential to ruin the boat.
This is one thing I've always made a mistake quite a few times. In the middle of painting something perfect, picked up the can of paint, shook it, sprayed it on, and it's the wrong colour.
Luckily, on this occasion, he's had time to read what's on the side of the can.
Once it's dried, we'll be able to see if there's any imperfections, and then we can just fill if there's any problems.
Carl's family won't be seeing him for a few days, but the next time we arrive, our Sea Queen's paint job should be complete. Returning to Todmorden, we find that Carl has been enjoying many more hours in his shed.
The missus and the kids stay well clear of this room, apart from pushing cups of tea through.
The paint is now finished. The motor and the rudder servo are in. These, along with the receiver and some other bits of electronics, can now be connected to the battery.
We can only use bullet connectors, then they can be taken apart quite easy if we need to take anything out.
Carl is using recycled wire. The colours would confuse an electrician, but he seems to know what he's doing.
Well, that's a positive thing, nothing went bang. Blue to blue. Had to think myself then. Right, it's now the moment of truth. It may work, it may not work. I'm going to switch this on, it should make it. Aha! We have rudder, motor. Oh, that's quick. Fantastic, it's working.
A few finishing touches, and our Sea Queen 1960s style is complete.
I think it's gone very well. There was a lot of work to do. The rubbing down, flattening it off. It's took a long time, but it's been well worth it. I think the best thing what we did is just keep it toned down, authentic and traditional.
It certainly looks ship-shape, but we might have gone overboard on the finances. With tax and commission, it cost us £76 to buy. Parts were £560 and labour £750, bringing the total to a choppy £1,386. This thing better float. Brooklands Fishing Pond, east of Pickering.
Maiden voyage.
Derek's here for our Sea Queen's Day of Reckoning.
Wow, look at that. What a transformation. I didn't expect it to turn out like that. I mean, the paint job's lovely. I think the colour scheme's brilliant. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't think it would look as pretty as it does.
Right, here we go. Try and get my arms right.
I'd come and help you, but my back, you know what I mean? Here's a way, look. Could almost ski with that. Well done, it go well. I'm impressed. I really am impressed.
Forward, reverse, left, right.
Fantastic. Yeah, she's very, very controllable, isn't it?
I think Derek was really impressed with it. He enjoyed it, he was sailing it.
Big boy's toy, isn't it?
It was always on the back of my mind. Is it going to work? Is it going to look good on the water?
Look at that.
And it's done all of those things.
Lot number 17 now, she's the 1960s radio-controlled model vintage cabin cruiser. Massive expense, beautifully prepared. We're £400. £400.
450.
450, 450, 500 on the internet, 550, 600 on the internet. Dave, you're now out there.
650.
There you go, 650. We all know you've got a load more money. £700 with you all the way. Gonna submit it then to Air TV, the Bangers and Cash Restoration Team. 700. Thank you for your bidding, gentlemen.
Over 700 quid down on the deal. But our loss is definitely Mark Osborne's gain. He has a business based in Chichester, making blinds for yachts. So it only seemed fair that he did some for this scaled-down version too. There's no plans for further maintenance or for it to go to sea. Instead, Mark has decided to pop it in his workshop window as a landlubbing marketing tool.